Babano ba minister abapya cabinet empya Dr. Lawrence Mugangu wa Victoria University kwali, Justin Namere kwali, Honorable Susan Kawuchi Nsambu naye kwali. Kati uliriza cabinet video mpanvu mu naye cabinet yo nakanju kuwe mu video emu. Of course, President ye Museveni Yoweri Kaguta. Vice President ye Jessica retired Major Jessica Rose Eperu Alupo. Prime Minister ye Robina Nabanja. Katiba deputy be first deputy prime minister atenga ye minister wa East African Affairs ye Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. Second deputy prime minister atenga ye deputy lead of government business in parliament ye Dr. Crispus Walter Chiyonga oyo mumumanyi kino ekifo kye kibaddemu Moses Ali tebamukomezaawo. Then third deputy prime minister airanga ye minister without portfolio bamuyita Honorable Lukia Nakadama oyo asigaddewo. Minister of Education and Sports Janet Kataha Museveni ateera minister office of the president oba presidency bamuyita Mire Babirye Babalanda. Kati ate minister of security office of the president ye Jimu Muhwezi. Kati minister office of the president in charge of science, technology and innovation ye engineer Asimwe Jonald. Kati minister wa Kampala ye Honorable Minsa Kabanda. Kati minister office of the prime minister wa general duties ye Honorable engineer Hilary Nek. Government chief whip wano wabaddewo Hamson Obu wabataddewo Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba. Kati minister office of the prime minister nenga wa relief disaster preparedness and refugee ye Honorable Samuel Ngora. Minister wa Karamoja ye Honorable Loki John Baptist. Jukira abaddeyo kati ali mu kkomera mu Sibe na Ndutu. Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries ye Honorable Frank Atumwebaze. Attorney General ye Honorable Samu Mayanja. Kitegeeza Attorney General Kijowa Kiwanuka bamusudde. Bataddewo Honorable Samu Mayanja ono yabadde ku byettaka Minister wa Lands. Then Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs Honorable Kiryowa Kiwanuka bamujje ku Attorney General ne bamuzza ku Defense ne Veteran Affairs. Kati Minister of Energy and Mineral Development ye Honorable Monica Musenero. Minister of Finance Planning and Economic Development ye Honorable Henry Musasizi. Wana abaddewo mubadde mu mmanyoli Minister waffe yagamba siu bamujjeewo. Minister of Foreign Affairs ye Ambassador Adonaya Yebale. Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development Honorable Lieutenant General Henry Tumukunde. Kino ekifo kye kibaddemu Betty Amongi mukyala wa Jimmy Akena wa UPC. Minister of Health Honorable Dr. Chris Baliomonsi kino kibaddemu General Ruth Achenge bataddewo Baliomonsi. Minister of Information Communications Technology and National Guidance kati ate bataddewo Honorable General Ruth Achenge bamujje wali ne bamuzza wano. Minister of Internal Affairs Professor Ephraim Kamuntu. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs Nobert Mao na Kibagamba bamu maintaininzaawo asigaddewo. Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development Judith Nabakoba asigaddewo. Minister of Local Government wane wabadde Rafael Majezi bataddewo Baram Barugahara. Baram Barugahara agenze ku cabinet minister local government. Minister of Public Service General Katumba Wamala ono yabaddemu owa transport and works. Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities Honorable Tom Butime. Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives Honorable Sanjay Tana Muyindi wa Foweri Eastern. Minister of Water and Environment Major General Kahindo Tafire ono abadde mu defense bamukyusiza. Minister of Works and Transport Honorable Byamukama Fred. Katiba Minister of State kuliko Office of the President, Minister of State, Office of the President, Economic Monitoring Honorable Arum Sandra Santa. Katiwaro Minister of State, Office of the President, Ethics and Integrity Honorable Akero Rose. Kati Office of the Vice President, Minister of State, Office of the Vice President Gobaita Honorable Mutasingwa Diana Nankunda. Waliwo Minister of State, Office of the Prime Minister, Relief, Disaster and Preparedness and Refugee, Honorable Lilian Abel asigaddewo. Minister of State, Office of the Prime Minister, Northern Uganda, Honorable Beatrice Akero. Minister of State, Office ya Prime Minister, OPM Karamoja, Honorable Anyakun Esther Davinia. Minister of State, Office ya Prime Minister, Luwero Triangle, Nerenzoli Region, ye Alice Kaboyo. Minister of State, OPM, Bunyoro Affairs, Honorable Grace Mary Mugasa. Minister of State, Office of the Prime Minister, Teso Affairs, Honorable Dr. Ongaro Obote. Kati Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, banondi kuba State Ministers. Gubamwita Desire Muhoza. Kakati Minister of State for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Animal Industry, bamwita Honorable Bright Ramirama. Minister of State, wa Fisheries, Agriculture, Animal Industry, Nenga wa Fisheries, Honorable Migadde Robert Ndigwa. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Jackson Kafuzi. Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Ministry of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Honorable Grace Ngabirano. Minister of Defense, Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Honorable Oreru Huda. Minister of East African Affairs, Honorable Magode Ikuya. Ministry of Education and Sports, for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo. Atenga Minister of State for Education, nenga wa Primary Education, bamwita Phyllis Chemtai. Minister of State for Education and Sports, nenga ye wa Sports ngaye, ye Honorable Peter Ogwanga na yasigaddeo. Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, nenga wa Energy, State Minister for Energy, bamwita Syndronius Opoloti Okasai. Kati Minister wa State, nenga wa Minerals, ye Fiona Nyamtoro, onayasigaddeo. Kati Ministry ya Finance and Planning, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Minister wa General Duties wa State, Sise Mulondo. Minister wa Planning, Minister of State for Planning, ye Amos Rugorobi. Minister of State for Privatization and Investment, ye Amina Mukalazi. Minister of State for Microfinance, Kutesa Musherule. Ministry ya Foreign Affairs, wa Internal Affairs, International Affairs, ebiri International, Calvin Echodu. Minister of State wa Regional Affairs, oliwa International Affairs, kato wa Regional Affairs, ye Cheyune Haruna Kasoro. Otugenda ku Ministry ya Gender, Labor and Social Development, Minister of State for Gender and Culture, ye Kutesa Mary Kamuli. Songa ate Minister of State or Youth and Children Affairs, ye Rakisa Mary Faith. Minister of State for Employment and Industrial Relations, Simon Mulongo. Minister of State Disability Affairs, Achani Joyce Okeni. Minister of State or Elder Affairs, Jacqueline Mbabazi, ono mukazi wa Amama Mbabazi. Kati wetugenda mu Ministry ya Health, tuli kuba State Ministers. Minister of State or General Duties, Anifa Bangirana Kawoya. Songa ate Minister wa Primary Health Care, ye Dr. Charles Ayume. Wetugenda mu Minister of Information, oba joyinza okuyita ya ICT and National Guidance. Minister wa Information, ye Joyce Sebugwawo. Oyo naye kwali. Kati ate wa National Guidance, ye Alioni York Odria. Minister, wetugenda ku Ministry ya Internal Affairs, Lawrence Muganga, Dr. Lawrence Muganga, State Minister wa Internal Affairs. Kampala City ya and Metropolitan, Chofa Togabye. Wetugenda ku Housing and Urban Development, Passes Namuganza. Wetugenda ku Urban Development, Margaret Muhanga Mugisa. Wetugenda ku Lands, Harriet Ntabazi. Wetugenda ku Local Government, Justin Namere. Public Service, Lydia Wanyoto State. Susan Nakauchi, Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. Bana ebanji ngenda kudda mu video yo